I was first exposed to the show obviously when it hit the Broadway back in 2013, and I listened to that cast recording a lot, and I just like fell in love with the music. And then the first tour came around, and I auditioned for that. They were looking for, I think, like a Lola understudy or something. Flew to LA to audition for that. Did not book it, but it was the same exact team that was setting the show on a ship um, later down the line. So I guess they just had me in mind or remembered me or something. I don't know. So I got called in for that, auditioned for that, and booked that. So that was my first like booking of Kinky Boots was the cruise ship. Beyond that, I have been tapped to play Lola, all over the country. And then this came about, I heard about the tour, so I auditioned for that. And, they gave me the job. So I think we rehearsed for a total of maybe 4 weeks, I want to say. We were able to pull everything together in 4 weeks. That includes, tacking the show and everything. So, it was honestly incredible. Like it was just like being shot out of a cannon. Like everything was just thrown at us, and we're professionals, so we're able to pick it up and kind of roll with it that way. So it was pretty a pretty easy process for me, obviously, because I've done it with the team before. I've done this, track before, but for everybody else, everybody stepped up to the plate and they knocked it out of the park. It was complete professionalism in that room. We did have a dialect coach throughout our time in rehearsals. Adrian, she came in and worked with us, and it was so helpful. It was just like the most authentic experience, and she gave us a lots of tips and tricks on how to make sure that the words are still clear to our American audiences, but they're still playing true with the accent. So it was a lot of work, but Adrian, she did it. I feel like it's evolved, when I first started out, it was kind of a what I thought, the character would do, but this is a more informed Lola that people are seeing now. This is a more life experiences have happened, so I have more to fuel behind um this character. So like I would say it's just taken a life of its own. Like it's evolved completely.
Mhm.
Every single day is something. I make a new choice. This character means the absolute world to me. Like she means so much to so many different groups of people, she represents a lot of struggle, but also joy. It's so human, but also so otherworldly. And so I just appreciate being able to be the vessel for this character to come through, because I think she is something so special to so many people and to myself as well. It just represents so much to play this and be this every night, and just to go out there and don those red boots and really live out loud and say, this is who I am, and love me for it, respect me for it, or it was just the skeleton that was given to me, and I just put the flesh on it.
Mhm.
Like Billy Porter originated this role, back in 2013 and won the Tony for it. And from then on, it has, obviously evolved with each person who has played the role, but that skeleton is still there. And so I'm just blessed enough to put my life experiences and my flesh onto that skeleton. Let me tell you something. It is a pop rock comedy show the whole time. Like with Cindy's music and Harvey's writing, pop rock comedy. It's just nonstop, toe tapping. You want to get up out of your seat by the end. It's such good music and such heartfelt writing. And I feel like they took their time. They really cared for what these characters had to say. Every single line that Lola says means something, and you don't want to tune out. You never want to tune out when she's speaking, or when any of us are speaking. You don't want to tune out. And I feel like that's the number one sign of, prolific writing, is that everything is important. Everything I'm saying is important. There's no filler, there's no fluff. It is strictly story, straight to it. You change the world when you change your mind. If you are open to receiving information from people who may not look the way you do or present the way you do or walk the same life as you do, when you're open to just seeing how they live, or including them in spaces, if you're open to that, you're able to change the world. You change the world when you change your mind. I think that is truly what this show is all about. Ooh, okay. I think my favorite song would have to be The Sex is in the Heel, because that's like when a turning point in the show itself is like these queens first meet the factory folks. And so like that, when they first meet, it's like the worlds are colliding. Like, oh my goodness, oh, what's going on here? And so like, I don't know, it's just it's comedy and it's just such a good number. I think it's my favorite number in the show. Ooh, I would say, and this is it's just at the top. The finale costume, that gorgeous red iconic Greg Barnes design dress with all the embellishments and jewels and beads, and it's just so beautiful. And you can tell they took their time making it. And so that is my favorite costume, and I feel so glamorous wearing it. Like that's like the big reveal, the big number, the final, and I feel like it does just what it needs to do. Well, shout out first. I have to give the big praise to the wardrobe and hair team. They are on me 95% of the show. Like I don't go anywhere without them. They are always, if I'm not on stage, I'm either changing, putting on a different wig, putting on different shoes. Like I'm doing something. If you don't see Lola, it's because she's getting ready to make another entrance. So I think my fastest change in the show probably is like 31 seconds, I want to say. It's the change out of What a Woman Wants into the boxing scene. I'm coming out of that entire um, opening act two look and getting into boxing shorts, a robe, and boxing shoes. First professional show that I saw, I want to say, and this is gonna sound so crazy, but I want to say the first professional show that I saw was Kinky Boots the Musical. The tour that came through Kansas City like back in like 2016, 2017, something like that. But what really sparked my interest was going to see one of my cousins was, doing, I think it was Once on This Island. And it was either Once on This Island or Footloose, one of the two. I saw her do both and I said, I want to do that. I want to do that. I want to be up on that stage in those lights, in the costumes and makeup. Well, I saw that as a child and I was like, that's what I want to do for the rest of my life. And listen, I've not stopped since. These touring Broadway productions are important because they give access to people who may not have had the chance to get to New York or who may never have the chance to get to New York, but they can access it locally. And we are some of the most talented people I've ever met, honestly. And so we have a lot of love to give and a lot of this story to tell. So um, I think that's why this is important. What we do is so important is because we provide access to people who may not have had that or may not get the opportunity to. Listen, audiences, get ready to have a time in the theater, the time of your life. It is going to be such a raucous celebration of joy and life, but also it'll make you hug your loved ones a little tighter. It'll bring you closer together with the people around you, and it's just a night of thrills and laughter and also heart. Like it has a lot of heart. I would want people to take away the fact that we are more alike than we are different. We have more in common than we do differences. And if we can put our differences aside and just see the human being in front of us, I think we'd all be a lot, more inclusive and happy. So I think that's what I want audiences to take away is just take a step back and notice your fellow man and say, hey, I think we're more alike than we are different, actually. Everybody say